All right, Dwight, thanks for joining me here today. So for those that are listening in, if you could briefly describe your operation, where are you from, and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, we live in north central Missouri. We farm around 1,500 acres. We have a registered red Angus herd and also some commercial cows. And then we raise corn and soybeans and some silage.
Awesome. And you're running the operation with your wife, Cindy, right?
Yes, my wife Cindy, and we have three boys: Jackson, Landon, and Drennan.
Awesome. All right, so let's take you back before Legacy Farmer. What was really not working for you, both in life, business, personal? What was really not working for you?
Well, whenever we started farming, I lost both my father and my grandmother, and so everything was just kind of thrown onto my plate. I was always the worker and everything, and so the transition from going from that to being the person in charge, making decisions and everything else, was really tough. And I got lost in all of things that could be done, needs to be done, the focus of where to go, and just didn't have that support, to kind of get some reassurance.
Yeah, 100%. And let's talk a little bit about like the financial side of things there too. What kind of system or process did you have in your operation at that time to help you manage the financial, the finances inside of your operation?
Yeah, we had literally no nothing set up to go with that. It was we just tried to, if we had some money in the account, it's like, oh yeah, well, let's go get this. And then all of a sudden, come August or July, whenever, all your money's invested in the crops and everything else. And, you're sitting here scraping the plate, trying to get through until harvest gets here. And I just kept doing that for the last 2 or 3 years. And I, something had to change. And because this just couldn't keep going on the way it was.
Would you say it was not only affecting the business, but it was also affecting your relationships, the relationship with your kids and your spouse because of the stress and the weight that is on your shoulders, not only to produce a crop, but to take care of the family and to actually move the operation, make sure that, hey, this operation, it's going to be here next year. There's a weight that also comes with that.
Yeah, there was a lot of stress, when you're, given an operation and kind of expect to take it forward, and then you're sitting down going, how can I do this, and how can I raise my family and make sure that we're able to go from 1 year to the next year. I just didn't have that vision needed to become mine and my family, and we just were lost
Yep.
basically.
So let's talk a little bit about farmer metrics coming in. So kind of share with me, Dwight, what your experience has been from having a software here to literally track and manage your finances when it comes to your operation.
That was one of the huge processes that we got started with at the beginning, and within the first month, Andy and Jace helped me figure out that we needed to move some loans to free up cash flow to where we can get through, and we made those adjustments, and now it's been easier. I can see the numbers where they're at, and helping get the budget and things set up, and know where we're at. That's where the main thing is, just know where we're at, and being able to run a cash flow with what is there. And that was the huge part of it.
Yeah. And so when it comes to like your relationship, when it comes to the relationship with the bank as well, tell me a little bit how that has changed your confidence as well, or even to know what the bank is looking at when it comes to the finances. Having to be able to run that conversation and feel like you're in the know, right?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that hit a good chord with me was whenever we were talking about the bank is literally a tool for us. And talking with people that are doing the same thing that we're doing, are in the same boat that we're, paddling, in the same stream. And those people know what we're up against and what the challenges and the stress that we face. And the bank is basically, they're just a tool to our operation. They're not our managing, deciding, person that needs to say, oh, well, I need to go ask the banker. Well, he's not the one out there doing what we're doing. And just being able to be a part of a group that you can ask questions and get honest answers and feedback is huge, huge.
Do you feel like there's now a separation between your operation and the bank?
I feel like yes and no. I feel like our relationship with my lender has gotten a little better because I'm able to define my focus better and lay out where I want to go and where we're headed. And I give him the numbers that we've set up and has helped that relationship a little bit. But, I don't depend on him, that's where, I call up and I it's more of a conversation of like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what we need to do. Let's set this up.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for his graces, I guess.
Well, it doesn't feel like you're needing, like you say, to get permission from the bank. It's more of a framework. Hey, this is what we're teaching you guys is look into your operation. What's going to work best for you guys in your operation, not what the bank suggests, because you're going to take that advice from the bank when the reality is he is not doing anything what you are doing. You are running the operation, right? You are figuring out the part of the business, but we look for the bank as permission because the truth is we don't know our finances good enough and we trust somebody else's opinion.
And I think the biggest thing was, I went to college, and got a degree, but, it helped me be able to do farming, learn the genetics and learn, the aspects of all this, but it never really taught me, the lessons that I'm learning now of being the businessman. And I feel like today, if you're going to be a farmer, you have to be a businessman first. And because of how volatile everything has become, and it's, that's what I was lacking. And this is what has been able to fill that need and learning. And
what's going to happen to those who have no idea where they are at financially or have a system to help track and truly know where they are at?
Yeah. If you heard, they're not going to be around in five years. It's just, when corn can move $1.50, within a week, it's just those things. If you're not planning and projecting and understanding where you're at, then you'll become lost.
Yeah, 100%. So a few other last things I want to ask you. So I want to know or hear from you what your favorite thing has been in Legacy Farmers. So we've got, the boardroom calls, we've got farmer metrics, we've got the trainings, everything on the back end for the tools. What would you say has been your favorite thing in Legacy Farmer?
The main thing is the calls that we have, especially, the community boardroom calls where everyone's there, but the Empire calls where it's just the guys and we can really talk about, the hard truths and really get things opened up and talk to people that understand, what you're going through. And those have been probably the most rewarding things that I have pulled out of that, is just being able to be a part of something that I can get honest and true answers from people.
Where else are farmers turning to get that kind of support? Where else can you get that kind of support?
Yeah, it's just not there. I mean, you go to the local coffee shop and, you can't you can't open up and ask the truth, because you know that person would come around and backstab you the next day or something. And
100%.
I just feel like this is a place that you're able to talk and open up and learn. Get, you know, just the amount of knowledge out there that other people have tried this and it failed, or tried this and it worked great. And no, that's probably been the biggest so far. That and learning my numbers, you know, and doing the budgeting.
So if somebody has been following Legacy Farmer for a period of time now, they know that they need to do something. This is something that could work for them, but they just can't quite make the commitment. What would you say to somebody who is in that position?
Yeah, I'd say jump in, make the jump. I was literally on the fence for 2 months, you know, just whether to do it or not to do it, and I just didn't have the money, you know, to commit, and you guys were willing to work with me, and it has been the absolute the best investment that I could do for my farming operation, to make sure that I have something here to give to my boys later on. If I didn't get help in this category, the way things were going, I don't know how many more years I could hold on to this.
Well, because where do you think you would have been? You probably would have been in the same position that you were before coming in. I just wouldn't have had any kind of direction to go in, right?
Yeah, we'd have been doing the same thing again, and rowing the same boat. The worst thing is the boat was shrinking, and it wasn't going to take long before, you know, it wasn't going to be a boat. We were going to be in the creek. So
100%. All right, Dwight. Well, thank you for joining me here today. I really appreciate our conversation, and we're excited to have you in the network and continue to move you guys forward.
Yep. Thank you, Andy.
Awesome.